Hey, this is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. How about them Dolphins? They came out and destroyed, for the most part, New England yesterday. The game ended up being close in the end, but the Dolphins defense, which is in the bottom tier of the league, looked like it was in the top tier of the league against one of the best quarterbacks of all time and one of the best coaches of all time. First of all, after the game, Bill Belichick couldn't even speak to the media. He was just like, no, not Schwarzer. He literally was so pissed off he couldn't even say anything because the New England Patriots, believe it or not, now Tom Brady's 7-9 against the Dolphins. He actually doesn't have a good record against the Dolphins. So the Fish always find a way to play New England well, and even if they win by a small margin more often than not. And also, Jay Cutler started that game looking like Tom Brady, and Tom Brady started that game looking like Jay Cutler. It was very weird. And Cutler finished the day really well, too. He went 25 for 38 with 263, 6.9 average, 3 touchdowns, and a 112 rating. Those are the numbers you expect to see from Brady. And also, if Grant could have caught that deep pass that he just went, fell, they could have had another touchdown, which would have iced the game even sooner, and they would have had in the 30-point tile, and then the Patriots might have never even scored to get to 20 because the game would have been iced and the momentum would have been all for Miami, whereas New England did come back a bit in the end, but it was in the end when everything was kind of already decided, and then the Dolphins knelt the ball. It was amazing how it looked like Jay Cutler took a flashback to his Bears days when he threw the ball up to now an Eagles wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, where they would just go up and get the ball. He threw it up to many guys. Drake even went up and got the ball a few times. Landry, Grant got it on that one throw deep in the corner. He played very well yesterday, and it was very impressive how well Jay Cutler played against New England's defense, who allows yardage, like I said in yesterday's video, but tends to not allow the big touchdowns, which they did yesterday to Jay Cutler, who's only averaged about 110 to 15 yards a game, and he got 3 touchdowns and over 200 against New England, who's looked better on D of late. And then, like I said, the Dolphins D looked like one of the top defenses in the league for most of the game. Kenyon Drake also went off. He had 114 rushing yards. And then on top of that, he had 79 receiving yards. He's been playing very well the past 2 weeks. Ever since Ajayi has been traded to the Eagles, he's been playing very solid. Brady, on the other hand, only went 24 for 43, had to throw a lot more because of how much they were down, only had 233 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks for a rating of 59.5, and then the rushing game was non-existent. Amendola had 76 receiving yards, Lewis had 50, and Burkhead had 45, and Brandon Cooks made 1 reception. The Dolphins defender that was on Brandon Cooks, I'm kind of blanking on his name right now. Let me see if I can find him. Howard, who was on Brandon Cooks, literally destroyed him the entire game. The second-year D-back, he went off and had a great game against the best wide receiver on the Patriots, who actually statistically is one of the better wide receivers in the AFC this year, and he shut him down. Also, Brady uncharacteristically threw balls over people's heads, where they could have been picked, and he just didn't have a characteristic Tom Brady game. This was a great game for the Miami Dolphins to salvage a season that's over, but to affect the standings in the AFC, that's what you want to do when your season's over. What the Dolphins did is exactly what you want to do. You want to salvage it by hurting other teams' standings in the playoffs, because right now the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is now even a bigger game against New England next week, play the Patriots, which is going to go really far now into who is going to have the home field advantage the entire postseason. Well, great job, Miami. Don't say this often, Lovely. Great job, Jay Cutler, and great job the past 2 weeks, Kenyon Drake. This has been a reaction video to the Dolphins and Patriots Monday Night Football game. Way to be, Fish. You upset one of the best teams in the AFC. Way to be. Way to win. Do it again. Have another big game. And then Pittsburgh, take some tape from that game and come out and beat New England and you get the number 1 seed. Because it would be really cool, in my opinion, to see a battle of PA in the Super Bowl. Peace out, everybody. It's Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Borick.